The opening scene begins with two men who are surveying an area of the Apalachicola National Forest in Leon County, Florida. While mapping out a specific area, one of the surveyors finds his device stuck in the ground. He tries to pull it out, only to discover some traces of blood, which leaves him perplexed. Seconds later, he notices an entity with red, glowing eyes. Terrified, he tries to run away, but the unknown assailant pulls him away and kills him. Seeing this, the other surveyor sets off in a panic, prompting him to run away and hide behind a fallen tree. But unfortunately, he too falls victim to this red-eyed creature.
It's just me with a hangover, Scully!
Later in the day, a man named Michael Asakoff and his son Lewis are seen hunting for possums with their dog, Bo, in the same stretch of woods. In the midst of this, they come across a surveyor's blood-stained jacket, raising alarm. Sensing an imminent danger, Michael orders his son to take Bo and runs straight home without stopping for anything. In the meantime, he loads his shotgun with 2 bullets before cautiously heading for inspection. As Lewis and the dog make their way home, they hear 2 shots from the deep woods. The dog growls and tries to run back the way they just came, but the boy stops it. Despite being worried for his father, Lewis decides to follow his orders and refrains from turning back. On the other hand, we see 2 FBI special agents, Fox Mulder and Dana Scully, who are carpooling with their fellow agents Michael Kinsley and Carla Stonecipher on their way to a leadership and team-building seminar. Mulder appears to be uncomfortable and somewhat annoyed by the perky nature of agents Kinsley and Stonecipher. Much to his relief, they are stopped at a roadblock by local police. Taking advantage of the break, Mulder instantly steps out of the car to stretch his body.
You guys are pissing me off, Scully!
Not long after, he is approached by Michael's wife, who informs him about the gunshots in the woods and subsequent disappearance of her husband. The woman seems frantic because no one is telling her what happened to her husband. Mulder assures her that he will look into it and heads deeper into the woods, followed by Scully. There, they meet more police officers, led by Officer Michelle Fazekas, investigating the case. Officer Fazekas informs the FBI agents that they have not found Michael's body, but have some evidence of a shooting. In addition, he asserts that it looks more like an animal attack case, as the forest is inhabited by wild animals like panthers and bears.
Panthers? The fuck?
After gathering detailed information about the incident, Mulder decides to stay, as it would be a perfect opportunity to ditch the seminar. He and Scully then check into a nearby motel to spend the night. Later, Mulder is engaged in researching wild animals when Scully enters the room with some food. He explains to her that no species native to North America will attack a stronger prey when there is a weaker target available. So, it makes no sense that an animal would go after Michael and ignore his young son. In response, Scully simply brushes off the topic and suggests that he leave the case in the hands of local police. However, Mulder ignores her and ventures into the darkness to gather some more information. Meanwhile, at the Asakoff residence, Lewis confides in his mother that he suspects his father is dead. He reasons that his father was a great shooter, and if he had hit what he was shooting at, he would have been home by now. Despite Lewis's concerns, his mother asks him to stay strong and think positive. A short while later, Bo becomes agitated and starts barking while looking outside. Seeing this, Mrs. Asakoff lets him out for a while. Why? But when she attempts to bring him back in, he refuses to budge. As a result, she decides to head back inside alone, only to find out that the door has been shut and locked from the inside. Concerned for her son's safety, she frantically screams, causing the boy to wake up. As he gets out of bed, he is startled by a dark, shadowy figure with red eyes coming after him. Terrified, Lewis narrowly escapes through the doggy door and runs into Mulder.
Ah, doggy style, my favorite!
He quickly tells him that the creature is inside the house. The next morning, the police officers are on the scene. Mulder shows Scully some tracks inside the house that appear to be human. Based on the weight distribution, however, he deduces that the assailant travels on the balls of its feet rather than from heel to toe.
I know balls when I see them, Scully.
He also speculates that these creatures are paranormal in nature. In order to back up his claim, he points out how the creature killed 3 grown men, disposed of their bodies, and strategically lured the mother outside of the house in order to get to Lewis. Later on, Officer Fazekas, Mulder, and Scully decide to venture into the woods in search of the creature. They are accompanied by local technician Jeff Glazer, who is armed with a forward-looking infrared or FLIR device. Before starting their expedition, Officer Fazekas cautions them about the vastness of the forest and the lack of mobile signal coverage. Due to this, she instructs everyone to stay close and maintain visual contact. In the event that anyone gets lost, she asks them to stay where they are, assuring that she will find them. As they proceed forward, Officer Fazekas strategically places white stones to mark their path in order to help them find their way back later. But, unbeknownst to them, the unseen creature removes all of these markers, intending to trap them in the forest. After a while of walking, they detect 2 creatures on the FLIR radar, which travel in separate directions, prompting the group to split up. Officer Fazekas and Scully head in one direction, while the other 2 guys run in the opposite direction. During this, Officer Fazekas is suddenly attacked and pulled away. Seeing this, Scully calls out to the rest of the crew members, but by this time, Fazekas is nowhere to be found. Mulder deduces that the creature deliberately separated them to launch their attack. After this incident, Glazer suggests that they retreat and come back with more backup. Mulder asserts that the more they delay, the less chance they have of finding Fazekas. However, Scully agrees with Glazer and convinces him to return, pointing out their lack of preparation. On their way back, Mulder theorizes that the creatures might be related to cryptids, such as the Mothman. Bang on, Mulder, you friggin' genius. After walking for a while, Glazer claims that this is not the right way. They have not found any white stones left by Officer Fazekas. Their discussion is suddenly interrupted when Scully spots a movement nearby. Glazer immediately uses his device and locates something. Following this, Mulder walks towards it with a gun in his hand. While Glazer guides him, he soon sees a humanoid figure hiding behind a tree and opens fire. However, the creature runs away and charges towards Scully. Upon seeing the movement, she fires multiple shots until the movement stops. In the meantime, Glazer, who is frightened by these encounters, flees from the scene, but sadly, his escape is cut short as he is caught by the creature and dragged away. Now that they are low on bullets, Mulder advises Scully not to shoot unless she is certain of hitting the target. She asks if he saw the creature, to which he replies in the negative. However, he does acknowledge that these unseen assailants are smarter than them.
It's not saying much, Scully, but I think it's true.
Moments later, Mulder is grabbed by the creature, but before it can drag him away, Scully manages to wound it with her firearm. This prompts it to retreat for the time being. Eventually, it gets dark, and the 2 agents are forced to spend the night in the forest. The injured Mulder feels cold, so Scully tries to ignite a campfire, but fails miserably. She even uses gunpowder to do it, but to no avail. As a result, she holds him in her lap and cuddles him to provide the warmth. In order to help stay awake, Mulder asks her to sing a song for him. Despite her initial reluctance, she starts to sing a sadly uninspired rendition of Joy to the World.
That's my favorite, Scully, thank you.
The following morning, Mulder wakes up to find Scully searching for food. Unfortunately, she falls into a hole, ending up in an underground chamber. Mulder rushes to check on her and is relieved when she assures him that she is fine. Upon getting up, she starts to look around and is startled by a disturbing sight. The bodies of the missing people are stored there, including the bodies of Officer Fazekas and Michael. A few moments later, she also spots a pair of red, glowing eyes, which makes her realize that she is trapped with one of the creatures. Sensing the danger, she proceeds to reach for her gun, but realizes that she has dropped her weapon somewhere. She promptly notifies Mulder, who then drops his gun towards her before jumping into the hole. As the creature charges towards her, she opens fire and successfully guns it down. Following this, the 2 examine the dead creature and are shocked to discover that it possesses almost human-like features, albeit with a wood-like texture to its skin. Nearby, they discover the Latin words ad noctem carved into a tree trunk, which means into darkness.
They're forest dwarves or some shit, Scully.
Shortly after, Agents Stonecipher and Kinsley, with police in tow, locate Mulder and Scully. They then rescue the 2 FBI special agents, Officer Fazekas and Michael, from the hole, but there is still no sign of Glazer. Upon leaving the forest, Kinsley remarks that they got all the credit, even though Scully and Mulder did all the work. He also shows Mulder a crosscut of a tree with various dates inscribed on the rings. Seeing this, Mulder states that the creatures may in fact be the evolved versions of the first Spanish conquistadors who had settled in the forest 450 years earlier. According to him, these conquistadors have adapted to life in this forest, and they are acting aggressively out of a need to defend their territory from encroachment.
Mulder, that sounds ridiculous. Just roll with it, Scully, come on.
Just then, an officer reveals that the body of the creature Scully shot down earlier has mysteriously vanished, and that they have been unable to locate it. This makes Mulder suspect that Scully is in danger. Upon learning that she has returned to the motel alone, he grabs a car and rushes to her. Meanwhile, at the hotel room, Scully is seen packing up her and Mulder's belongings. Not long after, there is a knock on the door, and it is Mulder. After ascertaining that she has finished packing, he firmly urges her to vacate the room, which she does with a baffled expression on her face. The episode ends as the camera pans under the bed, where a pair of glowing eyes opens.
It's a fucking conquistador, Scully.
Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.